Hi guys, welcome back to Coders Arcade. This is Ashank David. I hope so that I'm audible. In today's class, we are going to continue our DSA live session. Now, the last live session that I have taken up was on yesterday, and it was on to linked list. So we have understood about what exactly is linked list and how does it work, how it is created, and what all things are there into a linked list. Now we will continue it from today's class, and I will be telling you each and everything about how does a linked list works and how you can actually code for linked list. This is Ashank David. Let us get right into the topic. Before I start with this, I would like to request you to like, share and subscribe to this live stream, and don't forget to press the bell icon also so that you won't miss any future updates. Now let us continue from where we left. So I hope so that every thing is very much clear, and till now whatever we have done stacks, we have done queues. This is the third linked list concept that we are doing. So let us continue from where we left. In our last live session, I have just finished up my introduction to linked list, and I have just went inside the coding part of the linked list, correct? So let us continue from that. Okay, so in the case of, I hope so that I am audible. Let me check the audio also quickly. Let me just cross verify. Yeah, I am audible. Yeah, all right. Let's continue. Okay, so yep. Okay, so let's continue. So now in this case, you see that we had created a linked list. Quickly, I will be creating the linked list so that it is very much clear to everyone how does it works. Okay, again I am creating the linked list. I could have taken it from the yesterday's class also, but I'll just create a linked list quickly right here. Okay, so I'll say this is my linked list. I'll be creating a nice one this time. We are not in a hurry, so we can aram se create a new linked list. There you go. Okay, this is our list of nodes, and here these nodes are connected to each other with some link where the direction is only in single one side. That is why it is called as singly linked list. And in this case, it is divided into two parts, as we have understood this very well. Okay, and here let us say this is the head node. It's the head pointer which stores the address of the first coming node. So in this case, let us imagine that the address is gonna be 2187. Here it is 2881. Okay, 2881. I said this is 2321. This is 2188. Okay, I have just taken some random numbers which are representing the addresses in this case, which is representing the addresses in this case for that every node. Here this is the head pointer, so it is not storing any address, so we are not having any address of that head pointer. It will have some address, but we don't care about the address of the head pointer right now in the logic. Okay, it is a pointer, so it is a variable. That means it will also have its own memory. But we are not talking about the address, we are talking about what addresses is stored inside it, which allows us to see which node out of them are going to be the head node or the first node itself. Okay, so let's see. Head will point here, head will of course point here, right? So in this case, head will point towards 2187. Okay, head will point towards 2187. Next up, this, let's say right now this is the case, but what are the data will be stored here? Let's say this is gonna be 10, this is gonna be 20, this is gonna be 30, this is gonna be 40, and what we will be storing here? We will be storing the address of the next node, which is 2881. Here we will be storing 2321. Here we will be storing 2188, and here we will be storing null. Okay. So in this case, these are the addresses and the respective data I have stored inside every node. So this is now how my linked list looks like. Okay. I bet there is no doubt in this case. I have already explained this to you in the previous class, in the previous live session. Okay. Let us continue. So this is where we have understood. And last class I was explaining you this, that we are going to have the different functions, the operations we will be performing. Okay, so operations that we will be performing here are going to be the very first one, insertion. Okay, and insertion will happen at three places: the head, the tail, and at a specific position. Okay, then we will do deletion. Now in this case, insertion and deletion, both of them can be done at the same time, same places, head, tail, and position, at a specific position. And the third one that we are talking about is traversal. Okay, traversal happens to be there in all the operations, and it's a common operation, so we will be talking about that as well. Okay, now this is what your linked list would look like. Okay, I'm going to copy this and let us see if it gets copied nicely. Okay, then I'm going to move it. Guys, from now on I am planning to also provide the link of this notebook that I am using, the all the things which I am using. So properly I will be creating this, and I will provide the notes also in the description below. So you will be able to easily access what we have learned in the class very easily. Okay, so this notebook which I have created here, DSA live session 8, I will give it to you in the link of this notebook. I will give it to you in the description later on when I'll end this live session. Okay, so I'm preparing this properly so that you have, at the end of the day, at the end of the sessions, you have proper notes, and I'm gonna continue from there where we have left. Okay, so like that, day wise we will be creating all those things. I have previous notes, notebook links also that I will be providing in the description below in the respective videos, so you can access it. Because of lack of some technicality issues, I was not able to do that, but now I will be able to do it. Okay, so now let us continue. So here, wait a minute guys. Okay, yep, actually the camera switches off after some 15-20 minutes, so I need to again just click onto that button, so bear with me guys. Okay, I have to do that manually. After every 15-20 minutes this will happen, so I'll have to manually push that button, so don't worry about it, I'll be doing that. Okay, but be with me, I'll be explaining you till 7 o'clock. I'll be here. Okay, alright, let's continue. Okay, so here I'm gonna paste the linked list that we have created. Okay, so now I have this linked list ready. I have this linked list ready. Guys, let us understand our first concept. Acha, in the last session I have already created this linked list, right? Where I am, yeah, here I have already clicked it. Okay, so in this case you see that I have already created this part, this much content, live content, this much coding I have done already. So if you have not understood, let me just quickly explain you this. You see guys, what I have done is, in the previous live session I have explained you this, but I am just doing a quick revision of what I have done written there. You see, this is the linked list, and to implement the linked list, the very first step is what? Okay, let me tell you from the beginning here. Okay, if I want to do implementation, if I want to do implementation, how will I do implementation? First step will be to create a node. Okay, first step will be to create a node. Okay, if I am able to create a node, create multiple nodes, then I will be able to connect it together and make a linked list, right? So my first step is to create the node. Okay, my second step will be to link the node. Link the nodes. These will be my two major steps. So first step this, and second step this. First step, and this is gonna be the second step. Okay, understood? This is gonna be it, the implementation steps. So now guys, I hope so that you are able to understand the object oriented part of this thing, because here in this case I am, you see, because in this case I am using object oriented programming. What was the first step in the implementation? Create a node. Okay, create a node. First create node. If I want to create a node, you see, I have explained this to you that in linked list there can be n number of nodes. It is a dynamic data structure, right? It can have n number of nodes. In linked list can have thousands and thousands of nodes or billions and billions of nodes. So you have to write a lot of lines of code to clearly make a linked list, which is not manually possible with us every time. Understood? So what we need to do is we will be using a technique of object oriented programming to solve this issue. You see, imagine, what I mean to say is, imagine to create one node, first step is to create the node, right? And if I want to create the node, then let's say one node is taking up 5 lines of code. Imagine this. If one line of code is if one node is taking up 5 lines of code, then how many 1000 nodes will take? 1000 nodes, if I ask you. How many 1000 nodes will take? It will take 1000 into 5 equals to 5 into 5 equals to 5000 lines of code you will write. But the problem is that you cannot write 5000 lines of code, correct? So what you will do, you will smartly use, we will use a smart work here, we will do smart work here, and we will be using classes. Okay, we will use classes and objects, where I will be creating node as a class which will act as a blueprint for creating the object. Here object is gonna be the physical node itself, the physical node in this case. I hope so that this is very much clear. Ultimately, with that blueprint, I will be able to create a node. This is the process. I hope so that you are able to understand what I am trying to say here, this process. Okay? Ultimately, I have to create a node, and to create the node, I will use object oriented programming and use the classes and objects part. Guys, one more thing, if you are not confident in object oriented programming of C++, please do let me know, so that in another live session, we can fix another live session, 1 or 2 days live session for 2 hours in the daytime from Monday. I will be able, I'll teach you a little bit of object oriented programming in C++. If you want, we can do that. Okay, if you want, we can do that. This is very, very much important. Please do let me know in the comment section, in the chat, in the live chat. okay, because this is very important. If you don't understand object oriented programming, then forget about DSA in C++ or in C++. Understood? So confidence in object oriented programming is very, very important. You should know what is a class, what is an object, what are methods, what is inheritance, what is polymorphism, what is abstraction, what is encapsulation. You should know how constructors work, what are the different types of constructor, what is a default constructor, what is a parameterized, what is non-parameterized constructor. All of these concepts do require in this case. Even in C++ we do have destructors also. So if you want, yes, it will be better, right? Okay. We can do at least 1 hour live every day before we start the evening DSA live, so that we are able to cope up with the DSA. Okay, we can do that. It's okay. We can do that. Okay. We will fix a timing. Whatever timing you guys will fix, based off of that we will work onto it. Okay, understood? So done. From Monday onwards, for 1 week, Monday to Saturday the next week, till the end of this month, I will be finishing up C++ object oriented, pointers and DSA concepts also, the prerequisite part thoroughly. So please do share this live stream and tell others also to join this if they don't know. This is totally free and this is very important for your placements. So please do bring a lot of other people also to join and see that live stream. From Monday I am going to fix a time and will let you know at the end of this stream, and we can do that. Okay guys? Okay, for just 1 week it is going to be totally free, only object oriented and basics of C++ I will be teaching in that 1 hour live every day. Then I will come to DSA live, so it will be much more easier in that case. Okay, now, okay, decided. Let us continue from where we left. So basically what we are trying to do is, we are trying to create a node, and to create a node we will create a class first. Okay, so let me do that. In this case I have already shown you the code. You see this code. In this case what is happening, I have created a class. I hope so that my screen is visible clearly. It is not out of focus, I believe. Yes, my screen, this font is clear, I believe. I hope so. If you have any issue, please do let me know. Okay, please do let me know about it. Alright, next I have created a class. I have started by creating a class called as node. Okay, and I have taken the data as the attribute of that class and node star next as another attribute, because we have seen that in this case a node contains two things. One is data and another is the address of another next upcoming node in this case, right? So a node will contain two attributes. That is what I have written here in this case. So in this case what I have done, int data and node star next I have written. Then we need to initialize these two attributes to embed them into this class. And how do we do that? We create a constructor. Here we have created a constructor and it is a parameterized constructor. Guys, very important point to note here, why I am creating a parameterized constructor. And what is a constructor? A constructor is a function which initializes all the attributes of the class. Correct? We understand this. We have done object oriented before also, and also I am going to start that. So please do join my class as well from Monday. Okay, so in this case this is the constructor and constructor is taking up data here. What is this data? We are trying to initialize this data, this int data in this case. Understood? And we don't know the next, because you only think guys that okay, you only think guys that how can you tell this address? Nobody knows that next coming up node, right? Node address. Nobody knows the upcoming next node's address. Because physically right now we have not created or executed the program that I will tell that this is the address of the next node. The next node doesn't even exist initially. So I cannot predict this address. So I don't know this address. Okay. So that is why I have not written that in the constructor parameter. Because why I am saying is because later on in the main function here, if I would have to create a node, I would first create the object of that node class, right? So how do we create the object of the node class, guys? We will say the class name and the object name. Okay. So in this case, let's take n as the new node in this case. Okay. So I'm saying node n like this, and this is gonna be the constructor call, correct? Node n and the brackets. This is how you do that in C++, correct? Now this is what it's a constructor call. This is the class name, this is the object n, and this is the constructor call. We have understood this, that whenever we create the object of the class, the constructors are automatically called. Understood? So in this case, what we are doing is that we are creating the object. This is the constructor call. When the constructor is called, we need to pass the data in this case, right? So what I'll do is I'll pass the data. Let's say for example, I've passed the data 10. Okay, let's say I have passed the data 10. When I pass the data 10, what happens is that this 10 goes into this data, and in this case what we have written in the constructor, we have said this of data equals to data, just like how you do it in Java. This dot next equals to null pointer. What is this null pointer? I'll explain you in a moment. Just make sure that you are here. In this case, what happens is that this 10 goes here in this constructor call, and this data is set to this data. So ultimately the thing is that I hope so this is clear. Okay, ultimately what is happening here is that, one second. What is happening here is, guys, that this 10 is going where? It is going right here in this data. Okay, in this data. I believe so that this is very much clear. Okay. Okay, this 10 is going into this data. After that, this data is going to this data. Understood? And this dot data is actually this data. Understand the connections here, very, very important, highly important concept. Okay. So in this case, when you create the object, when you pass the parameter in the constructor call, it goes directly to the constructor parameter, and that parameter is set equals to this dot that attribute. Understood? So this data is actually nothing but this data will actually, this data is actually this data, and this dot data is actually this data. So this is how you initialize the attributes using a constructor. In object oriented programming, this is how we do it. Okay. I hope so that this is very much clear. Now in the next part, in this case we have said node star next. Okay, I have said I have not taken it in the parameter, but still I am initializing it to this dot next equals to null ptr. Why I have done this? Because what is this pointer? This pointer is what? It is a wild pointer, right? Guys, if you remember my pointers class, I have explained you what is a wild pointer. A wild pointer is a pointer which is just declared, and that declared wild pointer can point towards any random garbage value which we don't want. So what we will do? We will neutralize it. How do we neutralize it? With the help of a null pointer. So it is better to make a wild pointer a null pointer so that it doesn't make any what do you say, it doesn't make any problems into our program. To be in explain you in a brief. Okay, I have explained you that this is our code till now. my class node was done. And in today's class, now finally we are here. I'm going to delete this part. I'm not going to create the object like this. Why? I'm going to explain you in a moment, guys. Okay. So, alright. So, till now this part is done. Next. Now, guys, listen to this very, very carefully. What I'm going to do next is what I'm gonna do next is gonna decide what will be the style of your programming. What I mean to say is, it will decide what is the style of your programming. I have taught you call by value, call by reference, pointers, double pointers, dangling pointers, right? In one way, we can use all of them together. And in the second way, we can skip all of them together. What I mean to say is, let me explain. Okay. If I want to do next, what I will, in this code, what I will do next? I will start by creating a insert at head function. Insertion operation we will start. Yes or no? Yes. We will start insertion function. But insertion function, in that insertion, where do we can do insertions? Where we can do insertion? We can do at head, we can do at tail, and we can do at position. All the three we will be doing. Let us do first one, insert at head first. Okay, insert at head. So, where do I write this insert at? It will be a function inside, either inside a class or outside the class. Yes, guys, you can even write this function of insertion at or insertion of a value or a data at the in the linked list with creating classes also and without creating classes also. The first way is going to be without creating classes, and the second way will be much more easier with creating classes. So you will understand that when we create classes, our lives become so much easy that it becomes very easy for us to do all the things. What I mean to say is, listen to me and see the code what I'm gonna write. In this case, first of all, what I'm gonna do is, this my class node is already kept here. Okay. After my node class is over, I will say enter, and I will create a function called as void insert at head. Guys, I am repeating this again. Please watch this concept very, very clearly. Please do watch this concept very clearly. If you miss this concept, then you won't understand the trick of the two scenarios. This is the first scenario I am saying. Okay. This can change the way that you code forever. That is the reason why I am focusing and I'm emphasizing more onto this. So please do not miss this. Okay. First style of programming is that I have created this insert and head function just outside the node class. Done? Very good. Another way is gonna be, let me do one thing. Let me copy and paste the whole code into another file called as, let's say, demo2. So guys, I have two separations here. I have made two separations here. Okay. On my left hand side, this is your scenario 2. On my right hand side, you have scenario 1. Or in this case, according to the mirroring, this is gonna be my second and this is gonna be my first. Yeah, this is gonna be my first and this is gonna be my second. Okay. In this scenario, right here, this is one style of coding and this is gonna be the another style of coding. Okay. Let us continue what I'm talking about here in this case. Okay. I'm gonna reduce the size. I hope so that still you are able to see the font. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the first place. Here what I am doing is I have directly created the function right after the node class is over. This was easy. On the other hand, what I will do is I will not create this function directly. What I will do is I will be creating a, I hope so that you are able to see this. I am going to create a class, another class itself called as linked list. Okay, another class itself called as linked list, and inside this class I will create the head pointer first, starting. Oh, all right. Let's not talk about head pointer right now. Let's just paste it right here. Guys, you see one thing here. On that first way of programming, I have created the function just outside this node class. Okay. On the other hand, in the second part, I have created that same function outside the node class but inside another class called as linked list. So on scenario 2, I have created a linked list class. On scenario 1, there is no class, only one class is there, that is node class, that is a separate class. But here on the second program, there are two classes. One is the node class for creating the node, and another one is the linked list class right here. Okay. What is the benefit of this? Let us understand. Okay. Now, what I will do is, I will focus onto the first one. First. Okay. In this case, this is our scenario 1. Okay. This is our scenario 1, where I have just created the class and my function inserted head is right outside the class open in the global scope. Okay. Now what I mean to say is, okay, let's focus here. What we will do next, guys? Can you tell me? Can anybody tell me? Let's start from the parameters. What will be the parameter of this insert at head? Of course, we want to do insert at head. We want a value and we want the address of the head. We want a value because you see this function doesn't know where the head is present in the linked list. If you see here, right now, as of for now, there is no linked list, there is a big void space. Try to understand this, what I am trying to say. Okay, that right now there is nothing but just a void space. Okay. Where do I start from? I will start from creating the head pointer, because if there is no head, there is no linked list, right? So I will say here, this is the head. Out of this void space, I will say this is the head pointer. Right now there is no linked list present, so in this case this is set to null. Head pointer is pointing towards null. That means there is no linked list present right now. Understood? This is my scenario right now in the program. Understood? So what we will do? We will have to start creating a new node, right? I need to create this new node and I need to give the address of this node in the head. Then the node will be created and the first node will be due. So what is this operation? It is basically insert at head. Technically this is insert at head, right? Yes or no? Yes. Technically this is insert at head. We will do that. Let us understand the concept first. Right now this is null. Okay. So what we will do? I have started by creating the insert at head. What do we know? What do we need for the parameters here? First, we need a value. What value you need to insert? Next, where is the head? At the head you need to insert. No, at the head you need to insert. And if you want to insert this at the head, what you will do? You will say, first thing first, value and head, two parameters. Okay, let me code it for you, then you will understand it much better. In this case, insert at head, int value will be present, the value data type will be int. Am I correct? Next, what we will be typing here? We will be typing head. What will be the data type of the head? Node star head. Am I correct? Yes or no, guys? Why node star head? Head is pointing to a node and it is going to be a pointer which points towards the first coming node. So the data type of the head pointer is going to be node star. Seems logical? Enough logical, right? Understood? So in this case, what happens is the head will have node star as the data type. I hope so that this is very much clear. Okay. Next up, I will say, what is the first thing first? Let's go here and understand the logic for this. Okay. So in this case, imagine there is no linked list right now. What will be my first step for insert at head? I will say my first step would be create a node. How to create the node? For that we have node class. Just now we have written that node class, you remember? We can just instantiate that class and we have a physical node. Done. Okay. Now the point is, what should I write? How do I instantiate the object? So guys, now listen to this very carefully. You have that class node, no? In that, what are the attributes, two attributes that you had? You had data and you have a next pointer, right? You had data and you had a next pointer, correct? So what you need to do is, while you are creating the object of that node class, you need to dynamically allocate the memory in C++ using new keyword. Again, I am repeating, very important concept. You need to, while you are creating the object of this node class, you need to do dynamic memory allocation. If you don't do dynamic memory allocation, then your program may fail. Why? Because in the runtime, because it's a dynamic data structure, it will not work. As simple as that. So here now the syntax of creating the object of the node class will change like how you write it in Java. But here you add a pointer. What I mean to say is, if I want to create a node, I will write first the node class, then I will say pointer, then I will say what? Pointer, then I will say n, the new node, the object. Now the story doesn't end here. What you need to do is, you will say equals, and if this was C programming, you would have written here node star of malloc of size of and all that blah 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 blah. We are not doing C. What we are doing? We are doing C++. And if I want to do C++, we have new and delete. Am I correct? So rather than using this, I can just say equals to new and I can explicitly call the constructor node like this. I hope so that this is very much clear. And in this case, in the constructor I will pass the value for the data attribute. I hope so that this is very much clear. So let's create the node first. In this case, we have this function. The first step is to create the node. How do we create the node? We will say node star n equals to new node like this and press the val. In this case, what is this val? This parameter is the val. I hope so that this is very much clear. Yes or no? One mistake we have done. What is that mistake, guys? If we hover over this error, it says that the node declared at that line 8 is inaccessible. Guys, can you debug this? Debug the error which we are getting it right now. Can anybody tell me what have we forgotten to write that this error is coming? You have the node class available to see. Now tell me why this error is coming. What we are missing in this node class? Let us see. Nobody knows the answer? I will tell. Alright, I will tell. The answer is that we have forgotten to write what? Public. So the constructor is inaccessible. What is this? This is object oriented. So in this case now, this will not give a error. I hope so that this is very much clear. Yes, Darshan. Actually, you know what is happening? When I am asking you a question, no, there is a delay between the stream and the actual video. What I mean to say is, I'll explain. What I mean to say is that when the camera is recording my video, it takes around 1 minute latency to reach in the live YouTube stream. Okay, so when I ask a question in real time, it becomes very difficult to wait in this case. So that's why I have written it. But very good, Darshan. It is not accessible outside the class. The correct answer, very correct answer. We have forgotten to write here public. Okay, so that when I wrote this, so this error is gone. Well, I hope so that Surya, Darshan and how many viewers are there, you are able to understand this line very much clearly, correct? If you have any doubts, please do ask me. We have to dynamically allocate the memory, so we have used this new keyword. Make sure. Alright? Yes. Okay. Let's continue. So this is understood. My first step is over. So what did I do? I created the node. So how does that node looks like? My node looks like this right now. With some data, let us take 10 as the data. By default, the next pointer will be null. Why null? Why null? Because you see, what is this? This is the object of the class node. Object of the class node has, just now we have written, next as null in the constructor, I have initialized this. So what happens is that a newly created node will have the null as the next. I hope so that this is way much clearer. Understood? Very good. All right. Okay, so this is this much is done. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to explain you this one thing. Imagine that this linked list is already present. Okay, imagine that this linked list is already present and you need to do insert at head here. You need to do insert at head here. Right here you need to do insert at head. So what will happen? You will have to create a node like this. Correct? Correct? It's out of the screen. Let me just bring it here. Alright. Imagine that you had to do insert at head, and in the scenario where the linked list is already present, how you will do it? This is the head of the linked list, right? Just imagine, okay, and here the head pointer is already pointing towards the first node, which is 2187. What I'll do is I'll create a node. My first step is already done, you know how it is done, okay. Some val is put here and this is null right now and my head is pointing towards this. Let us say the address of this is 2117. 2117 is the address of the newly created node n, okay, just now which we have created. After this, what is this next step? I need to connect this node with this node. Yes, I need to connect this newly created n node to the already existing first node. Guys, am I correct? The logic is correct? Yes, understood. My first step is to create the node. My second step is to make the connection, correct? My second step is to make the connection. And my third step is gonna be to make this head point towards this 2117 rather than pointing towards the already existing first node. Yes? Okay. This is the third. 3 steps. Step number 1, create. This is done. This step is done. Second step is connect n to first node. Third step is point head towards n. Understood? Yes or no? This is my 3 steps. Okay. So how do we are at the second step right now. First step is already done, the node is created. Okay, the node is created. The second step is to connect this node with the already existing first node. Now guys, can you tell me? How will I get the address of this node? You see, I need to, what I need to do? I need to change this address, no? To what? I need to rub this address, this null, and what I need to do is I need to store this 2187, right? So that this connection is possible. I hope so that this is very, very much clear. Correct? I want to make this connection. 1 minute guys, 1 minute. One minute guys. Okay. So, I need to make this connection, right? Yes, I need to make this connection. Correct? So, in this case, how will I get to know this address? Who has this address? Head has that address. The already created head has the address, right? How will I take that address? I can say that newly created nodes next is equals to head. So, can't I say in the code, guys, can't I say in the code after this first step is done, this is, I'll write, this is the step 1, okay. The next step will be n of next equals to take it from the head. Understood my point? N of next equals to head in this case. This is inaccessible, so what I will need to do is I need to move this here. So now I can access the next also. So N of next is equals to head. Understood? N of next is equals to what? Head. Understood this is step or not, guys? This is the newly created node. Okay, step 1. The newly created now next is null, and I need to connect this to the already created first node. How will I create that? Connect that. I'll say N of next equals to head. Head is storing the first node's address. So that address is copied here. That means this connection is made, this connection is made. When this connection is made, the last step which remains is that I need to point this head towards the end. This head pointer will have to point towards the list. Rather than pointing here, it should point that. Right? So in this case, I can say head is equals to end. I hope so that this is very much clear what I am talking about. I will say head is equals to end, and there you go, guys. This is your inserted head function. But guys, half knowledge is very bad. Why? I am trying to say is that still my function is wrong. Why? What did I tell? That this is my first scenario? Yes, this is my first scenario. In this first scenario, what I have done is I have written this function insert at head outside this node class, okay, but I have not created any other linked list class. Yes or no? Yes. We are calling the head, we are giving the head, but where is the actual original head I initially created? There is no head created. Where this function will get called from? It will get called from main. So imagine I am calling this function called as insert at head. I will have to pass the value, let us say 10 I have passed, comma. Where is the head? It is asking the head, but do we have created the head above the call? No. This is the place where we need to create head. Node star head is equals to null in the beginning of the main. In scenario 1, what we will do is I will create the head first, and then with the value I will pass that head in the call for this function. I hope so that this is very much clear. Very important concept, guys. Please do not miss this. Very highly important concept to remember and learn. Still there is an issue. Right now if I execute this, still the insertion will not happen. Insertion will not happen. Why? Why? I have passed the head into a void type of function. It is accepting two parameters. We are doing call by value. What we are doing? We are doing call by value. In previous class, I believe in session 5 or session 4 or 3, I had explained the call by value and call by reference concept. What is that? In the call by value, what happens is, in call by value, the value is passed, but in reference, the address of that particular variable is passed. So we have learned that in call by value, the changes made by the called function are not reflected back to the original place. In call by value, this is call by value. In call by value, changes made by the called function will not reflect back. The changes made by the called function will not reflect back into the main or the original place. Did you get my point, what I am trying to say? So this program will not work right now. we need to improvise. And what we can do to improvise? We have to do call by reference. What we need to do? We need to do call by reference. And how to do call by reference? Rather than passing the just head, I need to pass the ampersand of head. Listen to this, guys, very, very carefully. I am passing the ampersand of head. And when I am passing ampersand of head, this is just a normal head. You see, head is what? It is a pointer. And when I am passing the address of another pointer, where it gets stored? Question mark. In the session 3, I have taught you double pointer. That means I need to make this parameter as a double pointer. Node star star head. If you remember, I have explained you and I have taught you that a 2-star pointer will hold the address of the single star pointer. 3-star pointer holds the address of the 2-star pointers, and so on. In this case, you are asking the head, correct? You are passing the head, passing also the reference of the head. Head in itself, in this head in itself is what? It's a pointer, correct? Correct or not? But the problem is that when you try to pass the address of a pointer into another pointer, then you have to make that as a double pointer. Understood? In this case, why it is showing us this? Because if I am taking it as a double star pointer, if I want to use it, I have to use it as a single star pointer inside. So I need to add this star star everywhere. I hope so that this first approach is very, very much understood. It is very, very much clear to all of you. Don't have any doubts. शौर्य राज, जावास्क्रिप्ट से डीएसए सीख सकते हैं? सकता हूँ क्या? हाँ, बिल्कुल सीख सकते हो, क्यों नहीं सीख सकते? बट जनरली कोई करता नहीं है वैसा. ज़्यादातर प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए आपको डीएसए अगर करनी हो तो आपको उसके लिए डीएसए को सी या सी प्लस प्लस में या फिर जावा या फिर पाइथन में, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन आपकी कौन सी कंपनी है, आप कहाँ काम करना चाहते हो, उस हिसाब से आपको लैंग्वेज चूज़ करनी होती है. अगर आप डीएसए चूज़ कर रहे हो तो हाईली रिकमेंडेड है या तो आप उसको जावा में सीखो या तो फिर आप उसको सी प्लस प्लस में सीखो. बहुत इजी होगा आपके लिए अगर आप सी प्लस प्लस में सीखोगे, बिकॉज आधे से ज़्यादा चीज़ें सी प्लस प्लस में बहुत ईजीली हो जाती हैं. अगर आपको मेरा सी प्लस प्लस का ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड कोर्स करना है तो मैं मंडे को चालू भी कर रहा हूँ. इफ़ एनीबडी वॉन्ट्स टू लर्न सी प्लस प्लस ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग, आई एम स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम मंडे ऑनवर्ड्स. 1 hour live I will come. Before I come to this main live, I will come 1 hour live before this actual live in the evening, and for 1 week, just for 1 week, we will study object oriented programming, and I will finish OOPS concept all for free for your placements. Okay, so if you are interested in learning object oriented programming and C++, please do join me in our C++ object oriented live from Monday onwards. Okay, this is going to be just a quick session class for that. But for today, let us keep it till here. For today, let us keep it till here, and I hope so that this function is very much clear. I have not executed it yet. Why? Because nothing will happen if I execute it. The code is correct. Now nothing will happen because we are not printing the linked list. To actually see the changes being made, I need to write the traversal function. So I need to teach you how to traverse in a linked list, and also I need to print all the elements. So displaying the elements is also a key here. That I will do in the next class, that is on Monday, same time 6 o'clock in the evening. But from Monday onwards, I am also going to start with C++ object oriented 1 hour daily. Extra I'm going to give for the next week, so that everyone is able to learn. I hope so that this is very much clear, guys. I'm very glad to teach you again, and it's my pleasure to teach you all for free. For me, my passion is teaching, and I'll try my best to teach you as much as possible, all for free on our YouTube, Coders Arcade YouTube channel. Guys, I'm repeating this again. and again. We also started providing placements. So if you are interested, if you are not getting placed, and if you think that you will be able to crack interviews on your own, then please do contact us. We will allow you to sit into different companies for more opportunities like this. In technical companies, we will allow you to go sit and give the exam. If you don't know, or if you are not confident about cracking a company's interview, then we are ready to provide you a full-fledged offline and online both course, where we will be upgrading you in all the aspects for interviews. So if you are interested in learning that and getting a placements, getting a job as soon as possible, please do contact us on Coders Arcade. The description, the contact us information, you can go in the about section of our YouTube. I will give everything there, and you can also get placed from there. We are in our company, Coders Arcade also is just establishing our connections with multiple different companies for placements also. So we will be able to provide placements as well. Okay. So thank you so much, guys, for watching today's live. I hope so that you will be there in all my DSA live sessions from Monday onwards. Please do not forget to FC. The thing is, Monday I will come live for C++ object oriented. It will be my inspiration to come if you guys also join. If more people join, then it is fun to do a live session. If I see one people or two people just sitting and watching the live session, then it will not be worth it, and it will not motivate me also to just spend 1 hour extra for just one concept for just 1 or 2 people. So please share this information with your friends and family, those who are preparing for, and those who want to learn C++. I am going to teach it all for free every single day. The next week, my motto and target will be to finish off C++ OOPS concept, and I'll continue from this DSA. Anyways, DSA every time, every day, 6 o'clock I'll be there, sharp 6 p.m. every day I'll be there. I'll continue and teach DSA. So please don't forget to watch our live sessions also. If you have any doubts, please do comment and tell us. I'll try to clear your doubts as much as possible if I know about it. Rest of it, thank you so much for watching. I am gonna end this live session right here. Nobody has any doubts into this. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. And that's all for today's live session. Thank you so much, guys. This is Ashank David signing off. Take care, happy weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. About the C++ class, maybe I'll come at 5 o'clock on Monday, but more on this I'll post it into our YouTube community or in my Instagram. I'll be explaining you that there. Keep on checking for the update. I'll just do a schedule live stream where you will see the countdown coming for C++ object oriented. Okay, so keep an eye on that, and please keep me also motivated by sharing this video and making more and more viewers as possible. Thank you guys again so much. I'll see you on Monday. Take care. Bye bye. Happy weekend. This is Ashank David signing off.